First up, some quick 420 trivia for you, if you care. For the first time ever today, on 420, April 20th, 2020, at 420, there will be 420s. Share that with your friends today if you celebrate 420. So today I interviewed Nick Kovacevich. He is the CEO and founder of KushCo Holdings Inc. It's a publicly traded company based out of California that basically sells the packaging and containers for the cannabis industry. So he has a pretty good handle on the direction that the industry seems to be going. He brought up something very interesting. As a big CEO in this industry, he wants to do away with 420. He basically thinks it's a bad idea.
It's negative perception in terms of advancing the ultimate cause, which is full-blown legalization and decriminalization across the board. So in a sense, as much as I love 420, the way that it's being celebrated, I think, reinforces an old stereotype.
That stigma that he's referring to is basically Reefer Madness. If you've ever seen or heard about that 1936 film, it's basically directed to parents, showing the apparent devastating effects of marijuana and it can have on your brain. And I'm always reminded of that guy who stands behind the piano, feverishly smoking a joint. And the narrator swoops in and says, "Marijuana, burning weed with
its roots in hell."
In hell.
I would love to see this holiday really rebranded as sort of a march or a call for change.
Kovacevich points to a recent Quinnipiac study which suggests that 2/3 of Americans actually want some sort of federal legalization. I also asked him about what indicators he's looking for. He points to the Safe Banking Act. It basically opens the banking industry to pot shops and the cannabis industry. It would allow you to use a credit card at a pot shop, but also allow these small business owners, these retailers, to deposit their money in a bank and still have it be FDIC insured. The Safe Banking Act has passed through the US House, but it's stalling in the Senate. But Kovacevich is pointing out something interesting.
There's a senator that's really fighting for a seat right now, which is Cory Gardner out of Colorado. And Colorado being, like Washington, one of the early adopters of legal cannabis, there are some calls for the Senate to get the Safe Banking Act done prior to the election to potentially help Cory Gardner save his seat.
In other words, because all controversial legislation always seems to come down to one or two deciding votes, he says watch for Senator Cory Gardner in Colorado, a very marijuana-heavy state, to possibly cross party lines to save his seat in the Senate. That should be really interesting to watch. And finally, a CEO in the cannabis industry has got to be celebrating 422, right?
As a company, KushCo Holdings, we gave the whole company the day off today. Most of our clients are slammed. If you drive by a dispensary today, probably lines around the block, right?
So happy holidays, everybody. Celebrate safely if you care.